The deal is the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player. She deserves it. CaitlincLlark, remember that girl, that superstar playing for Iowa that ended up going to the Final Four? Clark now has an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that will include her own signature shoe.
Nike just dropped a massive banner of CaitlincLlark at the Indiana Fever Arena. But wait, isn't this the same company that's been sleeping on her all season? You know, while she's been breaking records left and right and pulling in millions of viewers? Something doesn't add up here. Why now? Why did it take Nike so long to show Caitlin some love? And what about those rumors of Adidas coming in with a monster deal? Stick around, because we're about to unpack this whole crazy situation. Alright, let's talk about Nike's silent treatment of CaitlincLlark. You know what's wild? Nike signed this superstar for a cool $28 million and then crickets. It's like they forgot they had the hottest name in women's basketball on their roster. Clark's been tearing up the court, breaking records like they're nothing. We're talking about a player who's not just good, she's rewriting the history books. Triple doubles, she's got them. Scoring records, smashed. And the viewers? They're tuning in by the millions to watch her play. But Nike? They've been quieter than a library at midnight. No ads, no commercials, no billboards, nothing. It's like they signed her and then lost her number. Can you imagine if they did this with LeBron in his rookie year? No way. They'd have been plastering his face on every billboard from coast to coast. So what gives? Why is Nike treating Clark like she's invisible? It's not like she's underperforming. This girl is on fire, and everyone knows it. She's not just playing basketball, she's revolutionizing the game. Every time she steps on the court, it's like watching magic happen. You'd think Nike would be all over this, right? They've got a golden goose, and they're not even bothering to collect the eggs. It's mind-boggling.
The deal is the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player. She deserves it! CaitlincLlark continues to set the bar when it comes to her impact on female athletics. CaitlincLlark, remember that girl, that superstar playing for Iowa that ended up going to the Final Four?
We're talking about a player who's single-handedly boosting viewership for women's basketball. She's not just a player, she's a phenomenon. But here's where it gets really weird. Turns out Nike's got some strange internal politics going on. Word on the street is they don't want to overshadow their other stars. Can you believe that? They're worried about making their other players look bad by promoting the hottest thing in basketball. It's like they're playing checkers while the rest of the world is playing chess. They've got a game changer on their hands, and they're treating her like she's just another rookie. It's not just a missed opportunity, it's a full-on fumble. And you won't believe what Nike's planning next. Rumor has it, they might not even release a signature shoe for Clark until 2026. That's right, 2026. In the world of sports marketing, that's like waiting until the next ice age. By then, who knows where Clark will be in her career? Just when you thought Clark's future with Nike couldn't get any more uncertain, a new player enters the game. Remember how Nike's dragging their feet? Well, Adidas just laced up and started sprinting. And the deal they're bringing to the table? It's not just good, it's groundbreaking. Adidas isn't messing around. They see what Nike's missing, and they're ready to capitalize on it. We're talking about a deal that's rumored to be worth $30 million. That's not just a step up from Nike's offer, it's a whole staircase. And get this, it's not just for a year or two. Adidas is looking at an 8 to 10-year commitment. That's right, they're in it for the long haul with Clark. But here's where it gets really interesting. Adidas isn't just throwing money at Clark. They've got a whole strategy planned out. They're not just signing an athlete, they're positioning her as the face of women's basketball. Can you imagine? While Nike's been twiddling their thumbs, Adidas is planning to build an entire brand around Clark. And they're not stopping there. Adidas is bringing in the big guns to support Clark. You know who's singing her praises? Billie Jean King. Yeah, that Billie Jean King. The legend herself is backing Clark, adding some serious star power to this potential deal. It's like Adidas is assembling an all-star team, and Clark's the captain. Now let's talk about what this means for the bigger picture. This isn't just about one player and one brand. This is Adidas making a statement about women's sports. They're saying, hey, we see the value here. We're not going to sleep on this like some other brands we could mention. It's a power move that could shake up the whole industry. And you know what's crazy? This could be just the beginning. If Adidas pulls this off, it could change how brands approach women's sports entirely. We're talking about a potential shift in the whole marketing landscape. Imagine a world where female athletes are getting the same level of promotion and support as their male counterparts. That's the kind of change this deal could spark. But here's the million-dollar question. What's Nike gonna do now? They've been caught napping, and Adidas is about to steal their star right out from under them. Are they gonna wake up and make a counteroffer? Or are they gonna let Clark slip through their fingers? Hold up. While we've been focused on the brand battle, something even bigger has been brewing. Clark isn't just playing ball, she's rewriting the playbook for women's sports. But here's the real shocker. Nike had this goldmine and didn't even know it. How did they miss what Adidas saw clear as day? Let's talk numbers, because Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's changing the entire game. The WNBA's viewership is skyrocketing, and we're not talking about a little bump. We're talking record-breaking stuff that's making executives sit up and take notice. Imagine this. Clark's games are pulling in over 1 million viewers on average. That's not just good, that's insane. We're talking finals-level numbers for regular season games. It's like every time Clark steps on the court, it turns into a must-watch event. But it's not just about TV ratings. The arenas are packed too. Fans are showing up in droves to see Clark work her magic in person. It's like she's got this gravitational pull that's bringing people back to women's basketball.
Clark now has an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that will include her own signature shoe. She's got one of the hottest selling jerseys in sports, y'all, according to Fanatics, led by the one and only Michael Rubin.
You know what's crazy? This isn't just a flash in the pan. Clark's impact is consistent and growing. She's not just breaking records, she's setting new standards for what's possible in the WNBA. Every game, every play, she's pushing the boundaries of what we expect from a rookie. And here's the kicker. Nike had all this star power right in their hands and did nothing with it. Can you believe that? They signed one of the most electrifying players in basketball history and then just sat on it. It's like having a Ferrari in your garage and never taking it out for a spin. But Adidas? They saw what Nike couldn't. They recognized that Clark isn't just a player, she's a phenomenon. She's got the kind of star power that could reshape the entire landscape of women's sports marketing, and they're ready to bet big on her potential. Think about it. When was the last time you saw this kind of buzz around a WNBA player? Clark's not just attracting basketball fans, she's pulling in casual viewers who might never have watched a women's game before. That's the kind of crossover appeal that brands dream about. Speaking of crossover appeal, Nike just made a move that's got everyone talking. After months of radio silence, they suddenly rolled out the red carpet for Clark. But here's the kicker. Is this a genuine apology, or are they just playing defense against Adidas? The truth might surprise you. Picture this. You're walking past the Indiana Fever Arena, and bam! There's Caitlin Clark's face on a massive banner. It's like Nike woke up from a long nap and remembered they've got a superstar on their roster. Talk about a last-minute play. But you know what's wild? This isn't just any old ad campaign. This is Nike scrambling to make up for lost time. They've been MIA while Clark's been lighting up the court, breaking records, and pulling in viewers like nobody's business. And now, all of a sudden, they're acting like they've been Team Clark all along? Here's where it gets really interesting. This banner doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It pops up right when rumors are swirling about Adidas making a big move for Clark. Coincidence? I don't think so. It's like Nike got wind of Adidas's plans and hit the panic button. You've got to wonder, is this Nike's way of saying sorry for ghosting Clark all season? Or are they just trying to save face now that Adidas is knocking on the door? Either way, it's clear they're sweating bullets. They know they messed up, and now they're trying to patch things up faster than you can say swoosh. And let me tell you, fans aren't buying it. Social media is blowing up with people calling out Nike for dropping the ball. They're saying it's too little, too late. And you know what? They've got a point. Where was this energy when Clark was breaking records left and right? But here's the thing. This isn't just about Nike and Clark anymore. This whole mess is shining a big, bright spotlight on how big brands treat women's sports. It's like we're finally seeing behind the curtain, and it ain't pretty. We're talking about a systemic issue that goes way beyond one player or one company. All right, let's wrap this up. The Caitlin Clark saga isn't just about one superstar or one brand dropping the ball. It's a wake-up call for how the whole sports world treats women athletes. We're talking about a system that's been sleeping on female talent for way too long. But here's the thing. you've got more power than you think. Your voice, your views, your support, it all adds up. When you tune in to watch Clark and other female athletes dominate, you're sending a message. You're telling these big brands that women's sports matter. So what's next? Keep watching, keep talking, and keep demanding better. This story's far from over, and you're part of it. Let's see how it unfolds and push for the change we want to see in sports. Who knows? We might just be witnessing the start of a whole new game.